Hey guys, Dr. Ducey here, MTFU Longevity. You know, I get a lot of questions. I'm looking at a bunch on my email about supplements, all kinds of different supplements. I'm not big on taking supplements. I'm really more into whole food. There are three supplements that I think are almost invaluable. If I had to take any, if I was only limited to three, these would be the three. I'm going to talk about one each night. The first one I'm going to talk about tonight is creatine. That's creatine monohydrate. Just quickly, when they had the steroid baseball trials back in I think it was 2003, and they were, they were going after Clemens, and they were going after I don't know, I don't remember who the other guys were. They were going after all the big time baseball players. I was one of the guys that was getting interviewed in the national media only because my clinic, I had a lot of athletes that would come through and they would talk openly about steroids. So of course the salacious media want all that dirt. But the funny thing is they bring up creatine and they talk about it as though it were a steroid. That nasty creatine, what does that do to the kidney and livers? And they wanted all this dirt. And I said, it's not that at all. I mean, we won't get into that, but it's not a steroid. It has nothing to do with steroids. But creatine monohydrate, I'm talking about the monohydrate form. There are other forms. It's a relatively cheap supplement. You can spend more with these different types of forms. You don't need to. Creatine monohydrate is the only type that you need. Creatine in the form of phosphocreatine is 95% of that's in your body is in your muscles, 5% is in your brain. And what happens with that is it helps to liberate ATP, higher ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which increases muscle energy, which allows you to do more work. It allows you to gain more muscle, gain more strength, and to perform better. So those are all the things you want. Now, you get creatine via your diet through red meats, but you have to eat a ton, so it's easier to supplement. When you look at the literature or you read a container, it'll tell you about a loading dose. I did this once many years ago. It was 20 grams a day for 6 or 7 days, about a week. It was like 5 teaspoons a day. And that's built upon looking at a 1-month model where you want to ramp up to the highest levels as quickly as possible. I got severe, when I took that much, I got severe headaches and increased intestinal motility, upset stomach, the runs and all that stuff. So I don't suggest that. I say just start with a teaspoon a day, 5 grams a day, and just do it indefinitely just like that. It'll take 3 weeks to a month for your muscles to be totally inundated with creatine. It takes a little longer, so what? But because you don't want those symptoms. You really don't. I mean, some people think they have to go through all this terrible stuff in order to get gains. You don't. Try to feel good every single day. I've also read about cramping. Cramping would usually be a hallmark of a low, not enough water. And with creatine, you've got to drink a lot of water because what does creatine do? It's a cell volume optimizer. It gets into the muscle cell. It increases the surface area of the muscle cell, the volume of the muscle cell, so you can do more work. So obviously, muscles are largely water, so you want to take a lot of water in with the creatine. You'll hear sometimes take it with maybe like a protein drink or some sugar because it'll increase the insulin response to get it into the system. But you don't really have to do that. Again, don't be in a rush with this stuff. You do too much, it's just not going to feel good. So you're going to increase your strength, your mass, your performance. I feel it right away. This is probably the only supplement outside of actual drugs where you're going to feel results relatively quickly within a week or two. You'll notice them. You'll feel bigger, stronger. You'll get better pumps. I really think it's fantastic. It's all about that ATP. Studies have been done in the elderly who are just put through some work hardening type weightlifting where they just want to get a little bit of mass back and strengthen their bones. Taking creatine, they increase their muscle mass and leg strength, and that's really big in elderly because we've talked about the sarcopenia that the elderly or people above 50 get hit with where they lose muscle from the legs. Well, they take creatine and they gain some of that back. And in younger people, there was one study I was reading about that after 10 weeks, the average bench press went up by 15%. And that's very significant, especially if you've been training for a long time. 15% is this was a group of younger athletes, so I don't know if that would apply to everyone. It's hard to put that on, but you will get those results. So I think it's fantastic stuff. I recommend it for everyone. Side effects, there's very few deleterious, injurious effects that are in the literature. You do have to watch your liver and kidneys if you already have a problem with your liver and kidneys. If you don't, then you should be fine. As always, do your due diligence. Check with your doctor, your healthcare practitioner, that everything is okay. And we'll be talking about 2 other supplements tomorrow and the next day that, if anything, I think you should get if you're going to spend money on any of this stuff. That's it for tonight. Your thoughts, questions, considerations are appreciated. Put them down here. They are my oxygen. Please help me breathe, and you have a great day. Thanks.